A big welcome to you all. Welcome to our channel. We are crushing the meta, and today you are here with Glacian and
JJ, hello, hi guys, welcome. Also under GG Mr. Rogers. Nice to meet you all.
yes, and JJ and myself. We are the people most involved in Narukami when it comes to Narukami, and we are going to discuss this beautiful new strike that dropped today. Especially, I'm more of a standard guy at first when it comes to Narukami. Mr. Rogers, however, is very much a premium player, so
Yep.
I am still learning the premium ways, but we're going to dabble into this amazing card, and I would like Mr. Rogers to take it away.
Okay, cool. So, like as per usual, a common tradition of Bushiroad card design, everything that they make with a dragon has to have a dragon on the end of it. So Supreme, Conquering Supreme Dragon, Stunverse Dragon, of course, as per usual. Stride Step, of course, you pay the regular stride cost, which is discarded in grade 3. The art is pretty sick. It has the same color palette as Narukami as usually does.
I like it. It looks really good.
Artwork is pretty sick.
I love it.
Let's take a look at the skill. So we're gonna take a look at a skill of it. It is Act. Okay, that's very interesting. I wonder why it couldn't be an auto or like after battle or something. But we'll take a look at the rest of it. Soul Blast 1. Turn a card from your G zone face up. Put this unit into your G zone face up. Your opponent chooses 4 cards from each of her. And wow, so that's 8 cards in total from the drop zone and binds them. Okay, that's sick.
All right.
And the rest of the skill is for every 4 cards in your opponent's bind zone, you draw a card for each. And your opponent chooses a card from his or hand and binds it. So hand destruction.
Oof. So
Okay.
all right. So first things, let's notice the first obvious thing that stands out to me is that it's a strike that actually sends itself right back into the G zone. That's weird.
That's different. I find it very different in a sense that you don't, outside of like you writing your heart or rewriting your heart sort of things where like gear like GG or the other units allows you to restand. It's kind of interesting that they didn't like put this as an auto skill at the end of battle sort of thing, where you would have like a potential of binding 4 cards like after attack. So you bash with Vanguard, you send them back to the zone, you restand with Vanguard, you basically have your whole columns and stuff up to go again. Huh. Interesting.
Right. Yeah, it seems very focused on Standard Plus. For those unaware, Standard Plus is what we call basically 80 to 90% standard decks with a G zone.
Yeah, basically. I think the only thing you probably have from like the Jiras, maybe like Stride Fodders and the Premium Collection triggers, I guess.
Yeah, or sometimes grade 1 PGs, some decks.
But Hard Rod Draco Kid is also maybe like the starter, maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's usually just the starter, sometimes PGs, sometimes, and like the newer crits. But other than that, you're basically running a standard deck. That's usually is. But yeah, it is. It's not horrible if you imagine things like Gauntlet Buster and Vanquisher to like be able to do their things. They're pretty good on their own, but it's still weird that they send themselves back.
Yeah. So like one thing that stands out to me as well with this card as well, it's like it's made for, as you were telling us, it's standard plus, but like for premium now, you don't need to play Hard Rod Draco Kid as your starter anymore. You can actually play the on ride draw starters now.
Yeah.
The 6k 6k semi vanilla things, and you get to draw a card, and you don't need to worry about your Draco Kid being retired by like the Kagura matchup or being focused down by opponents removal units, or like being locked or bound or stuff like that. So it's really cool that you can kind of just get this stride out, it basically fulfills all the conditions you can have for the rest of the game, giving you a Thunder Strike of 8 in one turn, which is one of the hardest thing that Premier Vanquisher had an issue with.
Yeah, even G Vanquishers, like, it was such a struggle, but binding 4, like, realistically, I don't see it happening from the fuel side, because opponents don't usually put 4 rear guards down, because that is the issue. That's why it's so hard. But 4 from the drop zone, that's amazing. That'll just straight up get you Thunderstrike 4 at least.
Yeah, that is true. So let's talk about the G zone then. So let's scroll back a bit more to the card. Take a look at the pretty looking artwork and stuff.
It's amazing. I can't wait to see this bad boy as a foil pimped out in my G zone. Oh.
So I'm here taking a look at my G zone, right? So right now, some people play 5G guards because there's some flex slots and stuff. You can play Brahma, you can play the 5K for a Thunderstrike 1 plus 5K. You have options of Bulwark and MP. So would you want to go to 5 or would you want to stay on 4?
I have 5 as right now, but that's a tough question. I think I might go down to 4 actually. Like, I had the 5 because in Narukami I felt you were playing for the long game.
Yeah.
Definitely. You don't have the early aggression, you don't have the killer first strike, you're building up and slowly whittling your opponent down. If you're thinking more standard plus, I'm thinking you accelerate the game pace, and I don't know if 5G guards like flipping one. I think 5 are not necessary anymore.
Okay, so you want to play a bit more of an aggressive strategy then?
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling.
Okay, cool. Would you ever want to play VMAX anymore because of this? Because let's go to the first rides that Vanquisher probably or any other premium Narukami deck probably wanted to go in. Right. You have options of V-Buster, Vanquisher, and more or less VMAX. You're probably Drachma or your Progenitor. So VMAX or V-Buster being your first stride, right?
Right, usually V-Buster, sometimes full grade, but usually V-Buster.
Like, so this just completely replaces it, doesn't it? Because you don't really need the issues that you had before with your first stride is because you wanted to get rid of 2 things of your opponent, but now this just gets rid of 8.
Yeah, it just does more.
So would you want to play 2 copies of this now, the Supreme Dragon, or would you want to still play V-Buster?
I think you'd go to 2 of these, honestly. Because I'm pretty sure this is just going to be your first stride.
Yeah, it is your first stride. It could probably even be your second stride too, because it's just that good.
Exactly, exactly. And it's a universal flip, so you get your GB2s easily. Again, not relevant maybe for Standard Plus because you don't run a lot of GB2, but Narukami does have good GB3 strides, so your next stride will be more devastating, and this will probably secure you the Thunderstrike.
Yeah, yes it will. And the difference between Voltage and your regular Vanquisher grade 3s, like your Heart grade 3 giving 10k to your field in comparison to a Voltage is a difference of maybe like 5k sometimes, because if you have 15, it probably gives you like the 5k extra. It does give you the extra drive check though, so that's kind of like, how would you want to rate this in terms of like, what would you cut from your G zone to make this have space? Right. Would you want to cut Voltage or would you want to cut V-Buster?
Alright, so right now in my G zone I have 4 full grades, which is a bit too much, but I got 4, so I put 4 in. I have 2 Voltage, 3 V-Busters, and 1 VMAX, and of course 2 T-Guards, and my proxy for my Progenitor Dragon. I borrowed that when I played on tournaments. Don't judge me, people. Don't judge me.
And the other viable strategy now is like Drachma. Seems like an actual viable strat now.
Does.
Like,
It does. I would go as far as to say I can cut at least one G guard. I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
confident in that. I can cut one impede,
Mm-hmm.
and I can cut one V buster,
Mm-hmm.
and that's already 2 slots. And that I really don't think you need more than 2 of him. Absolutely not. I don't think you'll ever even go 2 times into him unless your opponent really doesn't give you a choice. But I
Fair.
can't ever imagine a third time.
True. Yeah. Because if you really want to keep all your 4 V busters and voltages, then probably cutting one G guard and um one of your others might be like would you so you cut in max then, or are you gonna keep max?
I'm going to keep Max, one off Max, because it's still a
Mm-hmm.
good finisher, if needed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I can get behind that. That does seem like a logical option. Let's see. I don't think there's actually anything you probably want to change to the main deck, except probably just playing Stride Fathers. The starter probably gets changed to like the on-right draw
Right?
starters, I guess, like one of the Draco kids or something. You don't need to like worry about your opponent's rear guts because it's kind of like, well, I'm gonna Stride. They're all gone anyway.
I
They're just
agree.
all gone.
I think the biggest change is
Yeah.
because of the Stride would be maybe your G3 lineup. There was absolutely no reason to run Gauntlet Buster in Premium, but he kind of makes it viable.
Yeah, because it's act, and you can also just if your opponent happens to have like if you're playing against Axel, right, and you get rid of 4, and they happen to leave something in the front row to probably intercept with, right?
Yeah,
It does give you option of at least being able to bind stuff your opponent has, bring them to the front row, so then your other rear guards can attack them. You probably force like a G guard or 2 out of their hand if their hand is not too large, and you just basically bleed them dry.
exactly. Like especially against the Axel matchup, if they have extra circles, and you basically first wipe their field for free, then wipe it
Mm-hmm.
again and get crits and power. Yeah, it doesn't sound bad. I think maybe the G3 lineup, like right now, I would run the Vanquisher and Vanquisher Sparking.
Uh-huh.
But if I'm going more the standard route, maybe Vanquisher, and with that I mean the new Vanquisher, the V1, and
Mm-hmm.
Gauntlet might be not a bad idea. You could even consider Drill, because you can really punish them for keeping their fuel clean.
So then you get to some resends and you get some extra card advantage as well. So then
Right.
you can also opt to play Desert Gunner Galban, because his skill is like at the end of the turn you Vanguard attacked. You can choose another unit and it gets 3k and it gets Sentinel restrict.
Exactly. You could just play the dangerous game.
Yeah. Oh gosh, this gives really interesting build options. Of course, you can say, this force is like a pretty linear strategy in terms of like deck builds. You probably say, well, like, oh, you go Vanquisher, you play this, you slap this, and you're
Yeah.
basically playing standard plus. But at least it gives you the option of playing other grade 3s now, which it never would have had given it before.
No, there was no real reason. The only grade 3 I actually saw in Premium was
Hmm.
not the drill, but the spike. Is that what it's called?
The
Stinger.
one that
Stinger.
Stinger. Yeah.
Stinger for a first ride, because you can't stride anyway, and you rewrite over it, get the power boost, which gets wasted anyway. But
Mm.
it was at least a marker. It was not the most worst thing in the world, but
Yeah.
it's superior. Calls itself and binds something, so it wasn't
Mhm.
bad. But that was about it. There was no reason for Drill or Gauntlet Buster to ever be in Premium.
Mhm.
But this changes a lot.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, the biggest issue that Narukami had for a while is that it had issues with its grade 3s, or how like it had issues with the strides being like less good than the grade threes, and I guess Bushiroad's one like kind of memed us saying like, okay, well it's kind of true, they're accepting it, and it's like, okay, just go back to your grade three and just play your grade three then.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it feels like, and it's like they kind of did the same thing with Royals, right? Where it's like, I
Yeah.
just keep your hard skills, but I mean,
Uh,
in a way, is this better or worse? That is my real question. Because it does the same thing, but you don't get the GB3 skill, and you don't get the triple drive. But when we look at it, how broken would this card be for drawing you cards depending on bound cards and then give you a triple drive?
that'd be pretty busted. I think you're trading off the PGs, and you're trading off the cards anyway that you draw from the skill.
Right.
I think that's probably like the quote unquote the drive check that you're
Right.
missing basically.
Right.
Because in combination, you're binding everything from field and also from drop zone, so you're guaranteed to at least draw one card.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. Now, before we started praising this thing into the heavens, because it looks amazing, it sounds
Mm-hmm.
really good on paper,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a consistent strike. It's not RNG related, but
What's up?
smart opponents, people that just won't guard and won't call.
Mm-hmm. But then they'll die to your Cholos and stuff like that. Then
That is true. So you really have to build a deck in such a way you force guard, which isn't hard, but
no, you have access. Like if you go the Vanquisher route, right? If you're not going Gauntlet Buster,
mm-hmm.
And I respect people who probably want to go the Gauntlet Buster route, but I think the Vanquisher route is probably the best strategy because it
Mm-hmm.
forces the most pressure out to the opponent, and you draw the most cards off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have access to Voltred Dragon, which gets rid of a Desert Gunner, Bijan out to your hand, or you have a Chatura in your hand, or you use Jaggy Shot on field, and you basically get so much attacks that even if your opponent doesn't want to guard, they're forced to, just by sheer card advantage that you're accumulating and
Mm-hmm.
pressure that you're putting on the board. And they need to commit at least like 1 or 2 units on the board to at least do damage to you. So in general, you're gonna at least be binding minimum of 4, maybe like minimum of 2 on your strike turn, probably.
Right.
Like it's worse. It's worse. And then you
Right.
could probably just kind of like say, well, I'll leave your board up, or I just bind what I see, sort of thing.
Right. So is he worth it if you only bind 2? And there's not 4 cards in the bind zone at the end of it. Would you say that this is still the best first strike? Or...
I would. It's of course you have then other options. At least now you just have other options. Now you can just go to like VMAX or something,
Right.
right? Or not VMAX. You can just go to V Buster,
Right.
right? You can bind 2, like 1 from drop, 1 from field. You don't need to care about the other one that still stays there on board. It kind of baits your opponent to overextending plays and stuff, and then you stride into this as your second stride, and then you get rid of 8 stuff.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I am happy with this strike.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it really Norakami has been struggling in premium for a while. Even in the G era, it was kind of the underdog.
Yeah,
In terms
because it can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Because it kind of kept on doing the same thing.
Right. I don't think this changes up the playstyle, but I think in combination with the recent V support, it can make Norakami way more a threat. Because we all know that standard Norakami is one of the strongest decks right now. So I am curious to see how standard plus Norakami will behave in the premium format. Very curious indeed.
I'm sure going to be testing it out, and hopefully we'll be having a deck profile on the channel relatively soon, discussing some of the build options that you can go with this deck as well. I don't know if Glacian also wants to maybe add any more to this before we round this up. I think.
Well, I think we're just. I'm agreeing with Mr. Rogers. We're going to I have probably one or two. We'll be doing the video again like this, sort of having one or two deck builds to spar off, and we'll have something interesting to show. And I think we should just round out with what does this? Where do you see Narukami meta-wise ending up with this new stride? Is it going to be game-changing, meta-changing, or is it just going to push Narukami into the viable slot?
I think it just makes it we're viable now.
Yeah.
We're like in comparison to what very amazing things that you could sometimes see in premium. I mean, of course, with the last listing of limited listing that we've had, hitting a whole lot of other viable premium decks, this has basically shoved this to the foreground as saying like, hey, you already like standard. You know, just slap a G zone on it, and you're gonna have a whole lot of fun. You're just gonna have a whole lot of fun. I think you literally could just slap a G zone on your regular standard Narukami, and you're good to go. You don't even need to play any like the premium cards in it.
No, I don't even think you can you could literally take the current V-Buster Vanguard deck even without gauntlets, and it would work. I don't know how great Jackie's shot will be as a Vanguard, but you know. That's where you go to different strides.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, that was. I'm fulfilled. Happy with this.
Yep.
I think we're good to round this up, and we'll keep you updated on this.
Until next time, guys.
Until next time. Goodbye.